Okay, so Ollie, can you give us the context?
I can. We are light on content. So the past couple of videos have been a bit more basic. This one, I've got Josh behind the camera. We're going to go through some questions, some stuff that you might find valuable whilst I make a coffee. So let's go.
How did OG Films start?
OG Films, when it first started, was called White Space Collective. Terrible business name, but anyway, it started straight out of university. I was a COVID university, so basically every single junior level position from any agency ever just got cut. So I set up the business. We did loads of stuff: branding, websites, motion graphics, photography, video, of course. Anything that a business or somebody would pay us to do creatively, like we would do. And then slowly but surely, we've basically just stripped away services. So now pretty much all we do is event videography. And now the company is called OG Films and not White Space Collective.
What did you think you'd be doing at 28?
I can't lie. When I was younger, I presumed that the business would be further on than it currently is. I've always known that I wanted to work for myself, run my own company, that sort of stuff. That comes from my dad. But yeah, I mean, the video business in general, especially with the UK market, is kind of a terrible way to make money. So yeah, I thought the things would be further along than they are, but that seems like it's kind of obvious across every single business model. People always are optimistic about what they can achieve in a shorter amount of time, right?
What does a typical week look like for you?
My week can vary a lot depending on the amount of productions and shoots that we've got going on. If we're on shoots, typically for me, that would look like, staying in hotels if we're in London or Manchester or Birmingham or wherever we are, driving around a lot, lugging a load of kit, making sure that everyone is where they need to be when they need to be there, and then obviously all of the standard production stuff that you see. So filming, interviews, lighting, audio, like I said, events, so it could be XL, it could be BDC, multiple different venues all around the UK, basically. So that'd be a production week. And then an office week for me really kind of looks like whatever the business currently needs of me, whether that's quotes, proposals, systems, processes, spreadsheets, team check-ins, planning, whatever that might be. But a typical week for me is if I'm in the office, is kind of Monday is content. So that'd be LinkedIn and YouTube and the stuff that we're filming now. And then Tuesday through Thursday is more kind of like needle moving, bigger business tasks that I can get on with. And then Friday is like admin, wrap ups, and then planning for the following week.
What's the hardest part of running your own business?
Good question. What I'm finding more recently anyway is that the hardest part for me is becoming the travel. So it's like the best thing and the thing that I'm finding the hardest at the moment. Not only is it kind of the personal toll, the travel, the bad food, the late nights, the early starts, the lack of consistency right in your life. But also then kind of on a relationship side. So, having to leave, not spending time with my wife, having to say no to things and events and dinners with friends and that sort of stuff. If last minute shoots drop in the calendar, kind of everything has to drop to facilitate us doing that. So I'd say that's the thing that I'm finding the hardest at the moment specifically.
Apple or Microsoft?
Apple or Microsoft? Apple all the way. Shouldn't even be a question. Shouldn't even be a question. Yeah, Apple all the way.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. It's got to be.
What's the one thing the client always gets wrong?
Ooh, I have to tread carefully here. One thing that the clients always get wrong, I think that they overestimate the amount of stuff that we can get done to a quality level at an event. It's much better for you to have like must-haves, like must-have shots, must-have people to capture than just capture everything. And then second to that is basically thinking that the highlight video is the be-all and end-all of event video, when actually it's kind of the most useless asset that we deliver, to be honest.
What does success look like to you right now?
My definition of success has changed a lot kind of in the past 18 months. For me now, it's just like, can we live a comfortable life financially as well as have the most fun that we possibly can? And I think that I have essentially built a business around the life that I want to live. So for me, it's all about how I feel about work, how I feel when I show up to work, how I feel when I'm on site, how I feel when I'm in clients, how I feel when we're editing, right? Like that's what success looks like to me now.
Who's had the biggest influence on your career?
This guy right here. Interesting that we're still stood here. This guy right here. So this is an image that's obviously been like mirrored and split in 4 ways from a guy called Ben Brown. This is a limited edition print as well. So if I show you on the back, I don't know what number I got. Look at that, 1 of 10. 1 of 10 limited edition print. So basically this guy, Ben Brown, like I grew up in the days of YouTube and in the early days of YouTube when like daily vlogging was a real thing. And this guy, Ben Brown, like he traveled all over the world. He lived in South Africa. It was very much based on documentary nature, you know, people, emotion, all of that sort of stuff. And when I was old enough that, or like maybe let's say financially stable enough that I could afford one of his prints, it was the first thing that I bought. And it sits here basically like as a reminder of where things started and where I want to go, and always kind of keeping that vision top of mind, I guess. Let's go over to the desk.
Early or late?
Early. I'm an early person. I was saying to Josh yesterday, was it, that like I can either be early or late. It's not necessarily like an either or for me, but I've found that in terms of keeping a consistent kind of balance of home life, of personal life, as well as working as hard as I can on the business, that getting up early and doing everything I need to do is the best way to do that. And then being able to, you know, enjoy a well-earned evening, you know, doing whatever I want to do, friends, family, whatever that might be.
Spa or bar?
Spa or bar? Spa every day. Like if you can't tell already, it's very much about just like keeping the peace. The job is so chaotic, and it like if you have a complicated professional and personal life, I think you're doomed. That you have to pick, and I have picked complicated professionally, which means that everything to do with home is like nice, peaceful, calm, no drinking, no going out, no partying. Like you just keep it nice and easy, and maintain a good headspace, right?
What's next for OG Films?
I think it's team. That's kind of the biggest thing for me. And excuse the makeshift curtain in the background as well. But like I said, it is a heat wave at the moment, so we've got to keep the windows open. Yeah, for me, what's next is all about team, right? Like I've realized towards the end of last year that I'd kind of reached the ceiling. Maybe this is a limiting belief, but I think I have reached the ceiling of what I can achieve personally. And now it's just about leaning on the skills, expertise, and competency of fantastic people like Josh to come in and support the business and see it grow and, you know, develop the vision and be part of it and be grateful to be here and all of that sort of stuff.
What do you want people to say about your work in 10 years?
I want people to say that there's care in the work, that there's heart in the work, that the work actually did something, right? Like it was a vehicle for positive change. Whether that's event video, whether it's more kind of documentary and story-led stuff, whether it's more social-led stuff, that's what I care about. That's what I want to do. I want people to say that I took on the biggest challenges and worked with the best brands on projects that really did matter, and ultimately made the world a better place. That's what I care about.
All right, that's us done.
That's us done. Nice one, brother.
Peace.
Easy.